Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of the legal secretary, 20-year-old Cynthia Jane Anderson, who went by the nickname Cindy. Now in 1981, Cindy had been plagued by dreams where she was abducted from her home and murdered by a stranger, and she told her mother about them. And even though she did find them bizarre and frightening, she did not appear to take them very seriously, and they would plague her for the rest of the year. Then August 4th, same year, Cindy arrived at the legal office where she worked, and usually she would work alone in the mornings, and when she did so, she would always keep all the doors locked, and there was an alarm that would alert the people next door and the next store, so to speak. And then at noon, two of her coworkers showed up to find the office empty, and all the doors were locked, the alarm was still in place. It didn't appear as though anything had happened, like a break-in or something like that, and the mail had been brought in, the radio was on, the lights were on, and the air conditioner was also on. Now, one of the coworkers was surprised to find that a book that Cindy was reading had been left open on a violent part. Now, the coworkers did say that they saw evidence of foul play. It doesn't actually say what the evidence was, at least I don't see the evidence stated here. But they say it appeared that she had been abducted despite having all the doors of the office locked. And of course the alarm I already mentioned. She had been planning on quitting her job in 2 weeks' time and going to a Bible college with her boyfriend, so there was definitely a religious element to her life there. And she had a boyfriend, so somebody to stick around for. However, her father had noticed that she had been dieting and focusing more on her appearance around the time of her disappearance. So that's an unusual thing that she's been doing recently. And when the police started investigating, they noticed that the only missing items were Cindy's car keys and purse, and there was no evidence of forced entry or struggle in the office. So if somebody came to take her, she let them in, and she also locked up after, and there was no struggle there. And based on the fact that there were no more calls answered after 10 a.m., they believe that she was abducted around that time. So shortly before 10 a.m., something happened. There is a client of Cindy's, a certain Larry Mullins, who claimed that the day before she vanished, she received a strange phone call from an unidentified person that she was apparently upset or scared of, and they called the office twice while he was there. And when he asked what was wrong, she stated that they had been receiving similar calls before. She didn't say what they were about, and we also don't know if they were connected to the case. A message had been written on the wall shortly before she disappeared. I believe it said, "I love you, Cindy," by GW, and it was on the wall near the office by someone. They didn't know who it was at the time, but they did later track this person down, and it says here the person who wrote the message has since been identified and is not believed to have any connection with this case. It appeared for the first time 10 months before her disappearance, and had been visible for 6 months before it was covered up. And then, of course, a few weeks later, it appeared again. Police were uncertain if it had anything to do with her disappearance. They questioned several people with the initials GW, including a maintenance man who happened to have keys to the office. However, there was no evidence that they could directly tie to him. In September of 1981, so a month later, police received an anonymous tipster, like a phone call, who claimed that she was being held against her will. The tipster appeared nervous and refused to give the investigator her name. She claimed that Cindy was being held in the basement of a white house, that there had been 2 houses side by side that were owned by the same family, which were apparently out of town. But their son was home, and he was the one holding her captive. They wouldn't give the address, and when they tried to get her to give more information, she hung up. And then a few minutes later, she called back, but when another investigator tried to listen in on an extra line, she hung up again, and she has not called back since, and it is unknown if her information is legitimate. There were a number of suspects, but nobody's actually been convicted. There was, however, an indictment in November 1995. A grand jury handed down a 25-count of indictment of 9 individuals and charged them with involvement in a large drug distribution ring in Toledo. 2 of those indicted were Cindy's employer, Richard Neller, and his friend Jose Rodriguez Jr. Now, Rodriguez was allegedly the ringleader of a drug ring that Neller was also involved in, and they suspect that maybe Cindy got kidnapped or killed by Rodriguez because Neller may have done something that they didn't like in order to send a message, basically. That was the idea. And I believe a witness in one of the court cases did actually indicate that Rodriguez had done that, but I don't think that was ever proven. Now, currently, both Neller and Rodriguez are serving prison sentences for drug trafficking and remain suspects in this case. So as with a lot of our cases here, this case has more questions than answers, and that is why we're going to take a look at this case using the tarot. And we're going to start off with the Wise Dog Tarot, which is already on the table. And for any further questions, moving on to the Deviant Moon deck, which is this one. Now, as per usual, I'm just going to start shuffling the deck. As soon as I have about a table full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So without much further ado, let's get started. Okay, so just looking at these cards right here, throughout the shuffling process as well, I got a sense of just general dissatisfaction. Like we start over here with the Ten of Swords in reverse. Ten of Swords is often a bit of a doomish vibe, just the mood, maybe a little bit of depression or something along those lines, just not being in a very good mood. Not really able to see all the silver linings of the events in your life, so to speak. So we're very much stuck in a negative mindset. But we do have a Nine of Pentacles here. So I guess worldly speaking, we are satisfied with our resources and we're doing pretty good. She was single, I believe, so she probably didn't have a lot of expenses. So maybe she's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm super, I mean, like, have enough of resources, money, that type of thing, maybe plenty of time as well. I don't know, maybe there is something though that she was really missing, because we see a general unhappiness here as well. So these resources are currently flanked by a feeling of doom and gloom, and also a feeling of just not much positive emotions over here. Just some, maybe this is a depression. Like maybe outwardly everything seems fine because she had a decent job and not much to spend her money on. Like not like how families tend to struggle to make ends meet because they have so many young kids who are all in school, blah, blah, blah. She had money that she could spend on herself and possibly also time to do that. But I don't think that she was in a great headspace, and also emotionally not doing very well because of the Swords and the Cups energy, both sending us a 10 in reverse. And we also have here the Ace of Swords and the Magician in reverse. Ace of Swords in reverse as well. We are looking at just a combination of wanting to do things but having no idea or how to do it. We're feeling stuck, I think, on this first draw. We're kind of stuck. We have what we want or we thought we want, possibly like in the ways of physical resources and wants and needs. Those things are probably covered, but we're just very dissatisfied here in this top row. And maybe she also tried to come up with some ways to get out of this, and with the Magician in reverse that didn't quite pan out. Maybe the things that she had initially come up with did not go very well, or just she saw no way to execute those plans. Next row, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse, so we're stuck in a certain mindset. We also don't have a lot of options, or we don't think we have a lot of options. Maybe there are some options that are kind of like coming out of the woodworks unexpectedly. And then we have here a Page of Pentacles. All right, so Page of Pentacles is indeed a new opportunity that we have here, something that we are looking to achieve. And the next card is the Tower. All right, look at that. We have the Tower, we have the Star in reverse, and then it ends over here with the Eight of Cups walking away. All right. See, I had that general sense of dissatisfaction when I was shuffling, so this almost seems like, combined with the fact that everything was locked and everything appeared to be in order, aside that there were apparently some signs that there had been some violence happening, that she had met with foul play, as it said. That may have been a show, or at least not quite what it seemed like, because we have here the Tower here. The Tower is upper right, so there's definitely a change here in a pattern. It may be that she just wanted a change. And the Star in reverse, I often see the Star in reverse in my readings as somebody kind of like slipping from view. The light is being drawn away from them. And then we have here the Eight of Cups, which is normally a walking away card, but combined with the Star in reverse and this card also being in reverse and the Tower, this almost seems like a abandoning ship type of deal, combined with all the dissatisfaction that we had in the top row over there and the mindset that we had over here as well. It almost seems like maybe this was part of what she may have been planning, or at least it kind of seems to be leading in that direction, like, okay, maybe I can just walk away from all this and start anew, start fresh, do something different. Everything else that's going on in my life right now, it kind of sucks. I'm single. What am I going to do? And this job, I don't know. She was already planning on leaving it, I believe, 2 weeks after this event happened. So maybe she was like, okay, well, I don't have anything else to go for. At least this place doesn't need me anymore. And adios, I'm out here, like that type of thing. But let's see what the Demon Moon has to say about that. But so far it kind of looks like this may have been something that she planned, or at least something that was not quite what it seemed. And I keep coming back to the dreams that she reportedly had, that she was talking to her mother about, but then didn't quite push the issue. Like maybe there was a prolonged setup, is what I'm saying. Like maybe they were like convinced that if she were to keep telling people about those dreams and then suddenly she disappears, that their first thing, that the people left behind, the first thing would be, oh, it must be her dream came true or something. Like some type of way of stepping out without it seeming too odd, maybe. I don't know, but let's take a look what the Demon Moon has to say about that. Like I said, that one's on the floor. We have Temperance over here, so we are definitely keeping her cool. Maybe that we did spend some time balancing things out, possibly getting our mind in order as well, and balancing out our hearts and our emotions. Because of course Temperance has 1 foot on dry land and 1 foot in the water, which is the emotion side. Oh, there's 2 of them and 3. Let's look at these 2 first. Okay, so we have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse and Judgment in reverse. Interesting. 7 of Pentacles, normally you would look at the vine to see what's ripening there, which is what you have planted a while ago. And it may not have pleased her. And so this may be her looking at what she's achieved so far and she's not happy with it. We're looking at a Judgment card over here. Maybe she's judging herself very harshly. Also kind of looking at this weird little thing. I'm guessing that's supposed to be like a baby or something. I don't know what that is. Doesn't look very good. It almost looks like something that... It kind of reminds me of I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie from David Lynch called Eraserhead, where there is a child born at some point and it just looks super crazy. And this baby thing just kind of reminds me of something that is born that you were supposed to love and nurture, but when it came out, you're like, I don't know what this even is, and is this something for me? What do I do with it? So maybe she's also just kind of like questioned her life choices and wondering what she was thinking possibly at the time that choices were made, or if what she ended up with was something that she actually did deserve, because we do still have that 7 of Pentacles over there. And I've put that one on top of it. Very good. King of Cups in reverse. Okay, so there may be somebody who is manipulating things. It could be somebody else whom offered her something. This could be an accomplice. I kind of felt like this was another person who may have told her, like, hey, I can help you disappear, and if you just do what I say, then you'll have a great new life, or at least you'll be somewhere else to start over new, and I can get you a new identity, new place, blah, 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 or something along those lines. Anyway, somebody who may have offered help to help her disappear. Yep. 2 cards fell out the bottom. The Hermits and Knight of Pentacles. Alright, so we're now being very practical. We're also not spending too much time thinking about things. Once again, we're looking at a strange creature there at the foot of this other person. In this case, it's supposed to be a fish, I think, but it almost has a similar type of shape to the weird baby thing. Maybe they are not stopping to investigate what really brought them to where they were, and they also don't really want to spend a lot of time on that. They also don't want to spend a lot of time wondering if this King of Cups has everything like sorted, has their best intentions at heart, that type of thing. They just kind of want to move. And the Knight of Pentacles is normally very practical, and in this case I'm kind of looking at the fact that he's mechanized and they just kind of want to keep trucking, want to chug along, like, okay, fine, we'll do it, I'll help out, or I'll do this, I'll do that. They've kind of approached this in a very practical sense, but possibly just not doing the right thing, like very practically plodding along, doing the wrong thing. That's what's coming up with that card. Okay, we have the 9 of Cups. Alright, so we are feeling very good now. So this is a very sharp change from where we were before. I imagine that this is possibly very shortly after she left. Just like having that sense of freedom, like, oh my god, genie in a bottle, you're here to fulfill my wishes, that's amazing. Like the initial shine of a new bright situation is kind of blinding her in this case, and they're very much impressed with the new area that they find themselves in. They do kind of look a little stranded sitting there on the beach like that with nothing else going on in the background. We don't know, of course, what's going on over here. There may be a whole civilization there that we're just not aware of. But they look a little bit like they just got washed up on shore, but they're just in such great spirits right now because of the new situation that they're in. Literally a wish coming true, like they found something, like the Aladdin's lamp was just a lamp that Aladdin was polishing among, I think, a whole bunch of other lamps that he was supposed to polish that day, and this one turned out to be magical. Kind of like finding that needle in the haystack. Maybe that's the type of sensation that she felt, like, oh my god, I found my lucky lottery tickets and now I'm out of here, that type of thing. Who would have thought that this could ever happen to me? Like, she almost given up hope that something would ever happen like this that would make her change her life. They have the Queen of Swords here kind of on its side. I'm looking at the blood spatter there on the ground. Queen of Swords is normally very sharp. She may have made some quick cuts like choices that she had to make. It's on its side, so kind of dubious. I feel like this is her in her mind justifying the fact that she had to leave, while also kind of regretting that she had to cut people off and cut people out of her life, who now of course had no idea where she was, people whom she was close to. Now not knowing where she was, and possibly also of course worrying about her whereabouts and her general state of being, while still being practical enough to think, well, you know, it had to happen, like that type of thing. Like the Queen of Swords does not have a whole lot of emotions when she is busy making up her mind. She just wants to get to the bottom of things, like stick to the facts and make decisions based only on that. I think that's what she did there. Let's see how it went though. Okay, we have a 4 of Wands, kind of on the side. I think she found somebody to connect with, or tried to find somebody to connect with. Maybe this other person whom she wanted to run away with, or who was going to help her, was somebody who promised that they would have some type of relationship or something together. And let's see, she was about 20 at that time. I'm thinking it may have been a lover boy or something along those lines. Somebody who is specialized in making lonely women in particular feel like they have a shot or something. Like there's something there that makes them quick to interest these women. Like they know how to talk to lonely women, basically that type of thing. But maybe she also just kind of expected to find somebody in a new location that she could maybe become friends with, and settling in a new place under a new name wasn't as easy as she possibly thought it would be. I don't know, but the connections that she was possibly hoping for were not there. And a card has flipped right here. Right, we're walking away again. Okay, so now we're kind of like feeling like, nah, this isn't quite what I had in mind. And maybe now that she's walked away once before, she's once again discarding this new location and possibly considering going somewhere else because, of course, 8 of Cups, walking away from something, disconnecting possibly also from the person whom may have helped her leave the first time. Like, okay, no, never mind, I guess this isn't working out and I'm just gonna move on now, thank you, like that. And then we have the 6 of Wands. Okay, yeah, we're definitely losing some face here. Somebody's losing face, but it landed over here, so I'm guessing it's the King of Cups also losing face with her. So maybe their plan or their actual intentions were revealed and she's not super happy with them, and that's why she's walking away. So whatever it is that they had in mind, she found out and was like, nope, not actually going to join in on that. Thank you very much. So what happens next though, because she's now, I guess, without her King of Cups, and what's she doing now? Oh, well, how did it go after that? We have a card right there. The Empress. Alright, so now we are possibly taking care of ourselves. Maybe she is putting down new roots somewhere, just taking care of herself by herself as well, overseeing her own little kingdom, I guess. Maybe trying to start new friendship circles. Even wondering, at least I am wondering, looking at the puppies, because these in particular drew my attention, like maybe she walked away from this King of Cups with something that she was not aware of initially, and maybe he was also not on board with having to deal with that. So maybe she actually had a child after that, accidentally, possibly, I don't know, but at the very least she's taking care of herself now, lording over her own life and just making sure that she's all right. Card fell on the floor. It's Strength in reverse. We have a dog over there. What are they doing? Let me turn it. Oh, it's actually a lion's head. All right, so pushing the lion or taming the lion back. And maybe she is losing some strength here. I think this might be a moment of weakness. Like she was very strong to choose to change her life. And now suddenly she's in a bit of a... All I can really muster the energy to do right now is just eat, sleep, repeat, and try to get my life in order. These two jumps, let's see, we have here the chariot. All right, so we are moving, possibly we are moving from place to place, and then we have the Seven of Wands. So we're moving from place to place whenever somebody challenges us. Could be that somebody wondered if perhaps the story that they told about themselves was actually true, because I imagine if you start over somewhere new, you're going to have a new name, you're going to have a new background, that type of thing. So maybe they had some people question those new things about her, and whenever that happens, she is quick to move on. Also wondering, of course, if you go and see somebody about maternity issues, and you don't have legitimate looking legal documentation, if they're going to have an issue with that, maybe that's why she is moving and losing strength and trying to not get too challenged. Oh, there's a card on the floor and 3 on the table. We have a moment of doubt here with the Two of Swords, so maybe this whole situation that she's currently in is making her feel like perhaps she ought to reconsider, but she's not quite going back either. We have the Queen of Pentacles here, who is definitely somebody who is smart with their resources. You also have the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess. Oh, right, this is an interesting lineup right there. So initially we have a moment of doubt over here. But then we have 2 Queen energies coming in, one on the resource side and one on the mental side. Again, a Queen of Swords. And the High Priestess over there on the end, also seeing through the veil. So this is a very strong energy of, nope, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to come up with this whole plan to sort things out. And we're just going to do it my way, because I foresee that this is the best way to do things, and if I just keep pushing, eventually I'll get where I need to go, like that type of thing. Being very willful and trying to foresee things in the future somehow. Maybe seeing some hints left and right that make her think like, oh, this is the right thing to do. Somebody might say something like walking past you on the street and you're like, oh, that's super relevant to what I'm thinking right now. Like maybe she got a hint like that over there, and that made her go, yeah, I'm actually going to keep doing this. Also, we have here the Seven of Pentacles. Like, okay, yeah, I can see what's coming down the line, and it's looking a lot better than the initial Seven of Pentacles that we had at the start. So I'm guessing she still likes her future prospects, even though it's a struggle. She just wants to keep sticking to it in order to get to a better prospect, a better future. And we have here the Ten of Wands, maybe also just letting go of some things. Ten of Wands is normally like a burden that you want to carry. It is something that she probably does carry with her, like in her mind, that there is definitely something in her past that she cannot spend a lot of time talking to people about, because she doesn't want to be found, probably. But also trying to let that go. Let's see if we can get a few more cards, because I think that we're almost to the end of what we're going to get today. Like, are we ever going to find anything? Are we ever going to hear anything from Cindy? Like that. There is a card that leapt onto my lap here. We have here the Nine of Swords on its side. Okay, so this is again a dubious card. Again, her mind is kind of half and half here. We're half worried and half trying to let that go. So there is still some anxiety there. This may have continued for quite some time. I'm just going to keep going for a few cards with this deck right here. This one wants to go. Lovers in reverse. Okay, so we're not connecting to anybody, possibly out of fear that these people might then find her out and try to contact the people from her past, which she definitely doesn't want to do. Another card on the floor. It is the Four of Wands again. Yeah, she just does not have any way of settling in with a group, it seems, or just having some type of harmony with people. That seems to be an issue. She just kind of shies away from people, possibly wanting to stay by herself in order to avoid any sort of trouble. Not making any effort either, because the wands, of course, are an action suit, but we are in reverse mode. All right, let's see. We have the Seven of Swords over here and the Seven of Cups. All right, so she wishes things were different, but she also has this thing like, I just cannot keep my secret for long, I guess, from certain people, so I am gonna make sure to keep telling these other stories, and as soon as things start to heat up, it's time to go. I wish it were different. She may regret certain things, but I think the regret mostly stems from is, if only I had made some slightly different choices, I may have had a different future, like that. Like maybe even though she gave herself this big break, at least that's what the cards seem to be pointing towards. At least that's what I interpret them as. If only she had made some different choices after that great break, maybe she thought that she would have a different outcome that would have been better than what she found herself to be in afterwards. So that is a very interesting lineup that we just got here. I don't see too much about what she dreamt about. I don't necessarily see that. I rather see her trying to escape a bad situation by making some very radical choices. In any case, that's what I'm seeing for Cindy Anderson. I hope you found that interesting. I also hope to see you in another reading. If you want to like the video, that'd be very much appreciated. If you want to subscribe, that's even better. In any case, thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.